What drives someone to risk everything for the sake of art? On a snowy Christmas Eve in 1962, one of the most valuable paintings in Britain vanished without a trace. But this isn't just another tale of art theft. Welcome to Humanity Tales, where we uncover stories that remind us what it truly means to be human. Today's story will take you deep into the world of priceless masterpieces, dedicated curators, and a mystery that would change the art world forever. Before we begin this fascinating journey, take a moment to imagine. What would you risk your career, your reputation, and your freedom for? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's explore this Christmas mystery together. She spoke with quiet intensity. The Winchester Museum of Fine Arts stood majestic against the winter sky, its century-old Gothic architecture, a testament to Britain's artistic heritage. Snow fell in thick flakes, creating an almost magical atmosphere around the building's stone gargoyles and frost-covered windows. Inside, the temperature was carefully maintained at exactly 70 degrees Fahrenheit, protecting millions of pounds worth of irreplaceable art from the harsh December weather. He continued thoughtfully. Dr. Elizabeth Blackwood's footsteps echoed through the empty galleries as she made her evening rounds. After 15 years as chief curator, these nightly walks had become almost meditative. The Madonna of the Holly hung in its place of honor, the crown jewel of the museum's Renaissance collection. Valued at over $2 million, the masterpiece by Fra Filippo Lippi captured the Virgin Mary in an unusual Christmas scene, holly wreaths intricately woven into her flowing robes. Dr. Blackwood paused before the painting, as she did every night. The expression on the Madonna's face seemed different somehow, almost knowing. She whispered with reverence, if only she knew that in less than 12 hours this priceless masterpiece would vanish, setting in motion a chain of events that would challenge everything the art world held sacred. He began warmly. To understand what happened next, you need to know Dr. Elizabeth Blackwood. At 45, she wasn't just any curator. She was one of Britain's most respected art historians, with a particular passion for Renaissance masterpieces. She continued softly. Her colleagues often said she could read a painting like others read books. Every brushstroke, every shadow, every subtle change in color told her a story. But what few people knew was that before joining the Winchester Museum, Elizabeth had studied under Victor Krantz in Florence, one of the most controversial art restorers of the 20th century. Krantz believed that modern museums were too cautious, too afraid to properly restore aging masterpieces. Art is meant to live, he would say, not slowly die behind glass. He whispered intently. This belief would prove crucial in the events that followed. The 24th of December, 1962, 8:45 a.m. She spoke with rising tension. Junior curator Thomas Wells arrived first that morning, stamping snow from his boots as he entered through the staff door. The security guard's log showed a quiet night. No alarms, no disturbances, nothing to suggest what was about to be discovered. 8:52 a.m. Wells reached the Renaissance Gallery and stopped dead in his tracks. He continued gravely. The Madonna of the Holly, the masterpiece worth millions, had vanished. The frame hung empty on the wall, like a gaping wound in the gallery's carefully curated perfection. She added breathlessly, no broken glass, no forced locks, no disabled alarms. It was as if the painting had simply disappeared into thin air. Within hours, the museum was swarming with police. Scotland Yard's finest combed every inch of the building, while reporters gathered outside like vultures in the snow. He spoke thoughtfully, but one detail caught everyone's attention. Dr. Elizabeth Blackwood, the chief curator who had worked at the museum for 15 years, hadn't shown up for work that morning. And this, dear viewers, is where our mystery truly begins. If you are intrigued by what's coming next, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. You won't want to miss the stunning revelation that's about to unfold. Enter Inspector James Price of Scotland Yard. He spoke with quiet authority. Price wasn't your typical detective. At 53, with silver-streaked hair and wire-rimmed glasses, he looked more like a university professor than a policeman. But in the art world, his name carried weight. He had solved some of Britain's most notorious art crimes, earning him the nickname the Art Whisperer. She continued intently. As Price surveyed the empty frame, his trained eyes caught something others had missed. Tiny traces of an unusual substance gleamed under his flashlight, a mixture he recognized immediately. Beeswax and rosin, he muttered, pulling out his notebook. Traditional conservation materials. The investigation revealed more puzzling details. He listed carefully. First, Dr. Blackwood's office contained dozens of books on art restoration, far more than a curator would typically need. Second, the museum had recently denied a restoration request for the Madonna, despite signs of deterioration. And third, Victor Krantz, the controversial conservator, had written to the museum board just months earlier, warning that the painting was at risk. Price's investigation led him to Dr. Blackwood's home, a modest Victorian townhouse on the outskirts of Winchester. She whispered tensely, what he found in the basement would shock the art world. A fully equipped conservation studio, hidden behind a false wall. He continued with growing intensity. State-of-the-art equipment, specialized tools, and there, on a wooden easel, stood the Madonna of the Holly. But it wasn't just stored there. The painting was in the midst of careful restoration, using techniques that would have made Victor Krantz proud. She added solemnly, and beside it lay Dr. Blackwood's diary, its pages filled with desperate entries about the painting's deteriorating condition and the museum board's refusal to act. If you are finding this story as fascinating as we do, take a moment to hit that like button and ring the notification bell. The conclusion of this Christmas mystery will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about right and wrong. Dr. Elizabeth Blackwood was found in her workshop, carefully removing centuries of deteriorating varnish from the masterpiece. He spoke softly. When Inspector Price asked her why, her answer would change the way museums thought about art preservation forever. She whispered emotionally, I couldn't watch it die. Her voice trembled as she explained, every day I watch the paint crack a little more. The colors fade beneath yellowing varnish. This isn't just a painting, it's our heritage. Sometimes, she continued, protecting art means breaking the very rules designed to protect it. He continued thoughtfully. What happened next surprised everyone. Expert examination revealed that Dr. Blackwood's unauthorized restoration had actually saved the painting from irreversible damage. Her methods, learned from Victor Krantz, proved to be years ahead of their time. The very techniques that had been rejected by the museum board would later become standard practice in art conservation. She added with wonder, the Madonna of the Holly didn't just survive, it was reborn. Colors that had been hidden for centuries emerged, revealing details no one had seen since the Renaissance. Today, the Winchester Museum's conservation policy is considered a model for institutions worldwide. Dr. Blackwood's actions, though controversial, sparked a revolution in how we preserve our artistic heritage. He reflected warmly, and every Christmas, visitors from around the world come to see the Madonna of the Holly. Its colors as vibrant as the day Fra Filippo Lippi set down his brush. Sometimes doing the right thing means making difficult choices. Dr. Blackwood risked everything to protect something she believed in. What would you risk everything for? She concluded warmly, "If this story touched your heart, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who appreciates the beauty of dedication and courage." Don't forget to subscribe to Humanity Tales for more stories that remind us what it truly means to be human. Ring that notification bell to never miss an upload. And remember, sometimes the greatest acts of preservation require the courage to break the rules.